Hello and welcome back to the infectious madness of Doctor Dekker. My name's Kalan, and let's dive right back in. We're in the middle of day 3. Yeah, day 3.
Midnight.
We've done Bryce and Claire. We've got Prof, Warwick, Jaya, Ellen, Mariana, and Nathan to go. Let's go with Jaya. She seemed a little bit less abrasive today in that intro sequence we had last time. So we'll just say, hello.
I'm fine. I'm ready for my grief counselling. I emailed you Mariana's address. I don't know why you'd want it. I suppose you're going to start doing home visits now, like Dr. Dekker?
I am very, very appreciative. Thank you, Jaya. I don't remember saying I do home visits to Mariana. Did I say do a home visit? Guys? Did I? Okay. What? Emailed Mariana's address?
Doctor, if you don't want it, don't text me and ask for it. It's all right. I don't mind doing menial tasks for you. Someone has to do them.
But I didn't ask for it. What? Okay. What? So either I'm going insane, as in and I mean literally me. No, either my character is going insane, or Jai is getting texts from people who aren't me asking for things for me. Okay, but the doctor did home visits.
Yes, Dr. Dekker started doing home visits for Mariana. He said she couldn't concentrate properly in his office. I hope you're not thinking of doing the same thing. I need you right where I can see you.
Why? Why do you need that? It's got a note. She asked Mariana about Dekker's home visits. I will do. Thank you, game. Right where I can see you.
Checks and balances, Doctor. Somebody needs to be watching the watchman, so to speak. Make sure you're helping, not hindering.
How would I hinder? What? Helping, not hindering?
He probably did his fair share of helping and hindering.
This is Dekker,
He was definitely helping in the beginning, but then seemed to lose sight of things.
Okay, lose sight of things. This is like trying to get blood out of a stone.
I think he was so overwhelmed by the patients he was getting. His curiosity just got the better of him. There was a definite turning point.
Dr. Alderby? Turning point.
Somewhere around the time
there we
Professor
go.
Alderby turned up. That seemed to unsettle him. And then we had a flood of extra weird patients. I think it was all too much for him. I think I misjudged him. I hope you deal with it better.
Me too. Misjudged him?
There's just a lot of crazy flying around, Doctor. Don't catch any of it.
I guess in psychiatrist profession in this universe, it must be very fucking easy to catch it. I don't know what it's like in real life, if you can catch crazy that easily. Okay, back to the start.
I'm fine. I'm ready for my grief counselling. I emailed you Mariana's address.
Okay, so I reckon this whole Mariana's address thing is Mariana's talent, her persuasion. She persuaded Jaya to believe that I asked for her address. That's all I can go on right now. Let's go for the grief, though. Let's go straight onto the grief counselling.
Grief is such a strange word if you keep saying it. Grief, grief, grief. It sounds like somebody's being whipped. And you're going to ask me how I feel today?
Okay. How do you feel? Well, I said hello. Okay, let's ask her about the paper spike.
It's in that police report that I gave to you. You should really take a look at it.
Okay, one thing we haven't asked her is where she was on Valentine's night.
I didn't go out for Valentine's. I was at home. Wait. Actually, I did come up to the office at about 9. I'd forgotten a USB stick that had some files I was working on.
Okay, because actually, after I said that, I realised we did ask her, and she said she was just at home, all on her lonesome, the way she put it. So now she changed her tune, USB stick, because that was around about the time that he was killed.
I was cross-referencing the patient files for Dr. Dekker, and I copied everything onto a USB drive. I was terrified it had all gone missing. Can you imagine the trouble we'd get into if the patient files suddenly turned up on the internet?
Yeah, it'd be pretty shitty. Oh yes, I should ask about Ben. So, How is Ben?
I think that's all settled now. We are agreeing to pay Ben £5,000 and he's agreeing not to say anything about what he saw.
Oh, okay. The £5,000's quite a lot. So what exactly is he not telling people?
He thought he saw a creature coming out of Dr. Dekker's mouth. Well, at least that's the reason he's given for not emptying the bins that night. Either way, it's not the kind of publicity that we need. Shiny, happy, sane people.
Of which we have literally fuck all. Oh, Ellen's quite happy. So she's insane. Okay, so she came to the office at 9?
I didn't see anyone else. I didn't hang around. It's just a USB stick. I got in, I got the data, I got out. I'm basically special ops.
Undercover nightmare. Yes, okay, so I was just asking about that in case she'd seen anybody going into Dekker's office. As with every single person in this place, they just drop the name Dekker. You get something new each time.
I honestly think that you're curing me with all this grief counselling. You know, we don't really have to talk about Dr. Dekker from now on if you don't want to. We had a connection, but it's gone now. I was a bit of a shoulder to cry on for Nathan. He told me a lot of things about Dr. Dekker that I probably shouldn't have heard, and I'm not about to repeat to you either. Why? What did he say about me?
There isn't a leading conversation tree to follow at this point. So I just typed in Nathan, and yeah, I got that. So he said, "You're well fit."
That's a strange.
I don't know. What did Nathan say? Do I have to go ask Nathan? That is an odd hint. And okay, so because I've got nothing to go on here, I've been typing in different patients' names and stuff, and apparently the game hint. I'm not sure how I would have got to this. It says, "Does she see Mariana as competition? Competition for what? Me? The professor or doctor, whoever is stationed here?"
Sorry, I didn't mean I was competing.
Oh,
I was happy Mariana was going out with him. I didn't want to be romantic with him. We had a stronger connection than that.
Oh, stronger connection. What kind of stronger connection do you have than going out with somebody?
Dr. Dekker and I shared some philosophy. We'd both read The Cult of the Kinetic Mind, and we agreed with a lot of what it said. Have you read that book, Doctor?
No. No.
In Cult of the Kinetic Mind, the author suggests that everyone is capable of psychokinesis and that the cult leaders specifically had these powers that turned their followers into disciples. It's not a fun read, but if you're into psychology, it's a blast.
So this whole Cult of the Kinetic Mind kind of seems similar to what's happened to Dekker about chaos in general. So does that mean that Jaya also believes in chaos? Or that kind of philosophy? Psychokinesis.
Psychokinesis is the ability to change the physical world without actually touching it, just by using your mind. It's not just about bending spoons. It covers all sorts of things like telepathy, telekinesis, telesabalas. Shoot me, I'm a Kojak fan.
Okay, so yeah, she does believe in the same stuff that Dekker does. Or Dekker did. Telekinesis?
Like I said, all those cool things are in Cult of the Kinetic Mind, apart from Kojak, obviously. If you ever get a patient who thinks they can change the world with just their mind, then duck, just in case they can. But seriously, do a whole load of shrinking and make them better. Whether you believe in psychokinesis or not, you'll need to figure out your approach with those that do.
Right, so she may have read the book and agrees with it. She doesn't necessarily believe it herself, and therefore, if she doesn't, then that lack of belief will ironically be what's holding her back from being able to do it. Okay. Oh, this is so weird. Okay, so what approach should we take for those psychokinesis people?
How do you make people who think they have special powers better?
I don't know.
Do you remain passive and support?
I probably should do. I'm the
Encourage
doctor.
them? Take them away?
How would you? You don't want to encourage them because that'll just. I say remain passive and remain. Take them away is not a bad one. Remain passive.
Things could escalate. Building trust is one thing, but at what cost?
Indeed. The cost of life itself.
That's not something...
Yeah, you don't know about life, I understand. Okay, so everyone is capable?
No, not at all in my experience. Dr. Dekker had an unusual number of patients who claimed psychokinesis. Either he'd been specifically looking for them or someone had been sending them.
That could be Professor Aldbury. Someone sending them.
It's entirely possible that someone is targeting this practice with psychokinetic patients. To what end, I don't know. It's no coincidence that most psychokinetic patients are diagnosed as insane, or at least temporarily insane. It's a handy diagnosis if you're facing criminal prosecution.
A la Claire
especially if
Castleford.
it's for murder.
Well, I guess that's the end of our time together. Thanks. Okay, that was a really odd one. I thought Jaya was completely separate to that. Why did I think Jaya was separate to this? That's a stupid thing to think. She's part of this game, and she's now been involved in grief counselling, so of course she's going to be part of this. But it seemed like Jaya was away from the whole psychokinesis, changing the world with your mind, the whole chaos thing. But it turns out that she's actually read into it a lot and doesn't and believes in it, but she hasn't admitted if she has any powers herself. Before we go down to Ellen, Mariana, and Nathan, we'll do Prof Warwick next. Have we met this guy before? Oh, it's this guy. It's another one from the intro trailers. Hi, Prof.
Professor Warwick, I'm a physicist. Where's Dr. Dekker?
So a lot of these people apparently don't come in that frequently. Dekker is dead.
Is he really? Actually dead? Not a worthy adversary after all, then.
Okay, so I assume that was a goad into bringing out the real Dr. Dekker. Adversary?
Dr. Dekker challenged me. He tried to use my theories against me. Quantum theories.
Okay.
Do you really want to know?
Go on.
Dekker's eyes used to glaze over whenever we talked about that. He didn't believe in quantum physics. As if it's something that you can optionally believe in. Well, it started with an experiment.
Oh God, making me drag it out of him.
Have you heard of quantum suicide, Doctor?
I've heard of. You game making me look things up and learn. It's one of those things I feel I should know about. Okay, so quantum suicide. I just read it up on it because it's one of those things that I've heard of, I kind of know a little bit about, but at the same time, I never sat down and actually got a fucking definition of. So quantum suicide is basically, if you, the example that was used that I just read, example is if you take a gun and this gun is set up to only fire a real bullet when the example they use is with quarks. If a quark is spinning clockwise, it fires. If it's spinning counterclockwise, it doesn't fire. I don't think that's particularly relevant. Well, I guess that's part of the quantum part of it. But essentially, it breaks down to it either fires or it doesn't, and you don't know. And there are several kind of processes, the kind of branching paths, which is the whole point of this. In that, if he clicks it and it does not fire, and he keeps on clicking it and keeps on clicking it and it never fires, then he's effectively immortal, it's saying, because the universe is conspiring to keep him alive. However, if you go back in time to start the experiment and he clicks it and he's dead, then this is the explanation. But he's already pulled the trigger for the first time. He survived. So how can therefore he be dead? That's the branching I was talking about. Essentially, at that point he pulls that trigger because it's unknown whether or not this is similar to Schrodinger's cat, but it's unknown whether or not the gun will fire. The universe essentially splits, and you have the option of it firing or not firing, and then each further trigger pull will either kill him or not kill him. And so you've got this branching universe kind of situation, and that's quantum suicide. Which, yeah, there you go. Where were we? What were we talking about?
Well, then I'll be brief. According to the laws of quantum suicide, if I were to shoot myself now, then one branch of my timeline would result in my death, whilst the other in my continued existence. I simply applied that logic to something different.
He said it much more succinctly than I did, Jesus. Okay, what was this something different then?
Gambling.
Gambling's a lot safer way of doing it.
Experiment whereby I would visit a casino and place a very large bet at a roulette table. Now, I would always bet on odd. Now, the results of this particular experiment were mundane. I won as many times as you would expect according to the laws of probability. But then, I changed a parameter.
Changed parameter. God damn it.
Quantum suicide required a loss of life to make it a realistic thought experiment.
Right.
So, I simply upped the stakes. Now, every time I bet on odd, I would place everything I had on that one spin of the wheel, and it worked. For a while.
So then it didn't work. If it only works for a while, then it doesn't work. That's not how... Only worked for a while then. Worked for a while.
Dr. Dekker killed it! And I can't get it back.
I see. Oh, this is when, I think in the intro, he threatened to kill him, didn't he? Okay, how did Dekker kill it?
Well, my theory, quantum gambling. If the stakes are high enough, you will win every time by simply shifting your consciousness into that branch that wins. It's tricky, but it can be done. Dr. Dekker didn't like that. He saw me becoming rich and powerful, and he hated that. That's why he proffered the hangman's paradox.
What the fuck is going on? Hangman's paradox.
Well, imagine a judge sentences you to death. Now, it will be Monday or Tuesday next week, but it will be a surprise. Well, which day do you think you'll be executed?
Oh, I see. I think I see anyway. So, Dr. Dekker saw that this guy was consistently winning, so instead he offers the Hangman's Paradox. And the Hangman's Paradox means that he will eventually lose. He'll die on Monday or Tuesday. It doesn't matter. He'll die. So, in the case of Prof. Warwick, the choice is you'll lose this time, or you'll lose next time, or you'll lose next time. But eventually you'll just lose. I think that's where they're going with this anyway.
Well,
I imagine it's Tuesday.
Well, it can't be Tuesday, because if you're still alive on Monday at midnight, then you know you'll be executed on Tuesday, so it won't be a surprise. Conversely, it can't be Monday either, because, well, you'll be expecting it to be Monday by deduction. Hence, a paradox. Dr. Dekker tricked me.
How did he trick you?
He told me that sometime in the future I would lose a bet, that I would lose all of my money. Now, this didn't seem likely because I had quantum gambling on my side and it was working. But he unnerved me. He made me doubt myself. And then it happened. Recently, I lost everything that I'd managed to build up since Vanessa left me.
So yeah, exactly like I said, he told him he was going to lose eventually, and so Prof. Warwick in this universe, of course, we're talking about Cthulhu here, chaos, etc. So Prof. Warwick's got quantum suicide on his side, but Dr. Dekker's got the power of chaos, and he can just make something happen by believing it. So he believed that he would lose, and the guy lost. Okay, so why did Dekker hate him?
Honestly? Well, I think he feared quantum physics. He didn't like things being explained in terms of science, almost as if he'd have preferred chaos.
Well, exactly that. Yes, exactly that. Okay, we're on to something. The statements I'm making before I type something in actually make sense. Yes. Okay, I can't seem to work out why. What this double yellow is about. And so let's ask him the classic question: what was he doing on Valentine's night?
I was at a fundraiser for a charity called Mind Stretch Outreach. Don't know how I got roped into that, I can't remember. But it was full of very clever children with bizarre outlooks on life. And Jaya. It was Jaya who asked me to go.
Okay, so why did Jaya, I call her Jaya, not Jaya. Why did Jaya ask him to go? Because she believes in psychokinesis. This is all, I can feel that it's all connected. It's just like missing a few things in my mind.
Oh, she's Dr. Dekker's lovely assistant. I imagine she's your lovely assistant now. Yeah, she always smiles and makes me a cup of tea before a session. That smile. Which reminds me, my session. Can we talk about my problem now?
I thought we were. Okay, what's this mind stretch outreach thing?
It's full of poor kids with very capable minds. I did give them a talk on quantum tunneling once, and they loved it. Not sure it'll put dinner on the table for any of them, though.
Quantum tunneling.
Oh, you're going to have to Google that, Doctor, I'm afraid. I'm not a walking Wikipedia. I'd love to tell you, but I am paying you by the hour. Maybe look up Schrodinger's cat whilst you're there.
I already know about Schrodinger's cat, you pompous bastard. Okay, so we've got Jaya and something different. Actually, it's a good point, actually. Why did he choose gambling? Why did he choose gambling? Is that why it's highlighted?
Why not gambling? My wife, Vanessa, left me for a neurosurgeon. Do you know, she emptied our entire combined wealth into her barrister's wallet. I needed more money.
Okay.
Provided me with a solution.
It's very unphysicist-y-like, isn't it? To get your solution to a problem from innate chance and luck. Vanessa?
We were married for 14 years, 7 months and 3 days.
Ah, specific.
Vanessa couldn't have children. At least that's what she told me. She grounded me in reality. I'm not complaining. It's probably what I needed. But part of me always thought that one day I'd achieve immortality through science and we'd be... It wasn't to be, though.
Doesn't everyone secretly wish about immortality a little bit? Okay, so yeah, do you want children?
Well, yes, it bothered me. Especially now that I find out that she's pregnant. Oh, no, it wasn't a rocket scientist that was required, but a brain surgeon, it seems.
Oh, that sucks.
I have considered putting that neurosurgeon onto his darkest timeline. But I'm not a killer, it would seem.
So he thinks that, he believes that his ability to choose his own timeline means he can also choose other people's timelines. Again, he could have chosen Dr. Dekker's timeline. Or he could be choosing Jaya's timeline where she falls in love with him. I guess that's where that's going.
I'm not a gambler, Doctor. I'm a scientist.
Okay, this is his problem.
I need more money. It's true I've run out of money for my research. An opportunity has arisen.
Okay, what sort of opportunity is this then?
A very wealthy group of individuals have offered to pay me a very large sum of money if I attend their next private soiree. They don't want to talk or anything like that. They want a practical demonstration.
Is this... Oh, this is... Okay, this is a practical demonstration. He's selling his gift to the world. Practical... Let's spell it right. Demonstration.
They'll pay me £1 million if I can successfully survive 6 rounds of Russian roulette. Now, I am worried because of what Dr. Dekker said, but, well, I can't help but thinking that the stakes are so high I can't possibly lose. What do you think, Doctor? Should I take them up on their offer?
So, is this 6 rounds of Russian roulette where he's the only one with a gun? Because if it's a classic 6-shooter, then surely he definitely dies here. That's... So they're giving him an impossible situation, which, for his ability, if you discount Dekker's kind of like mindfuck that he did on him, for his ability, that's kind of stretching it to the limit. It's because it's perfect for him, because it's the ultimate stakes. It's almost... if normal laws of probability were true, he's 100% chance he'd die because he's got 6 rounds with 1 bullet in 6 chambers. He's got to get shot at some point. But then again, that might be where his ability shines most. Yeah, fuck it, go for it. Go for it. Okay, the game. I just keep on like. It's very irritating trying to get the right exact wording. So I ask for hints just for like, oh, that's the wording I use. And the game for some reason wants me to ask, who does he work for?
Well, the Ministry of Defense, of course. Guns aren't going to win the next war. Quantum physics is.
I don't see how that was. Game just gave me a really odd hint. That doesn't seem relevant. There's no branching path from that. What's your research?
Quantum gambling. It's a pet project. It's got nothing to do with work. But if I don't have significant amounts of money to lose, then there won't be enough jeopardy for the experiment to work.
Right, okay. That makes sense then. Okay, that's the correct wording I was looking for. Yes, accept their offer.
Splendid. I can't lose, Doctor. Let me demonstrate.
Oh. Oh god, he's going towards my face with his crotch. The fuck? He just killed himself. Well, I guess Dr. Dekker's theory came right. He eventually lost with the highest stakes possible. I shouldn't have told him yes. I should have told him no. Oh god, have I completely erased the rest of his comments? Like, was I going to see him again? Was this going to be a recurring character and I've just killed him off? I really don't fucking... Like, the fact that I can't then report this to the police, there's no sort of like... There's no other clue or like response. Like Jaya hasn't come in. And can I tell Jaya, Prof Warwick just killed himself?
I don't know.
How is this not a note? How is this not something that I've written down? I'm like, oh, I should probably do something about that. Oh, I'm so okay. We're gonna move on to Ellen. He just killed himself in the office. Okay, we're gonna move on to Ellen. We're gonna do Ellen. We're gonna stop after Ellen. Oh god, hi Ellen. She looks happy today at least.
I'm fine. Work's fine. Hilda's fading fast. Terry's Terry. Oh, you'd be pleased to know I don't have the locket anymore.
So it does change.
All of it. Every single keepsake.
That protects you from lawsuits. But also, so it must change then, because I told her to give it back, whereas if I had told her to keep it, I think the game must have changed it. Okay, so maybe this game is worth more than one playthrough. Well done.
That doesn't really matter. Let's talk about something else.
Keepsakes.
You told me to. Well, not in so many words, but you said I shouldn't have kept them. And what with Terry going around telling everyone I stole them, I didn't feel like I really had any choice. The lockets, the watch, the ring. But I kept the little bird Sarah Dekker gave me.
Oh.
I wasn't supposed to mention her.
Sarah Dekker, hello.
Dr. Dekker's mother. She was one of my first patients, but she died a while ago.
Okay, it makes sense you keep that because I guess Dekker's dead, so is there even anyone else to take the stuff? Died a while ago.
I can't remember exactly. I'd only just started seeing Dr. Dekker.
First patients?
I've been a nurse for ages, but I've only worked at the nursing home for the last year. I tend to move around quite a bit. I get quite fidgety if I stay in the same place too long.
Okay, this is... I'm sorry, I'm still stunned by the prof who just killed himself. Let's just carry on.
I'm fine.
Okay, so yeah, let's ask about Hilda and Terry.
Hilda's nearing the end. She's been sleeping a lot, not eating much. She hasn't been that argumentative either. Although, she did give me a vicious scratch yesterday.
Oh, vicious scratch.
It was nothing. I was just trying to give her meds. It's hard, you know? I'm trying to help her, but she keeps fighting me. It'll be better after she's seen her daughter. I've decided I'm going to do it tonight. She hasn't got much time left.
Okay, so how will it be better after she's seen her daughter? Well, I guess from her perspective, from Eden's perspective, it'll be better.
That's the plan. I know, it sounds unbelievable, like I'm making it up. I wish I could prove it to you somehow. We could try shifting now.
Yeah, do it.
Think of someone you really love. It might help if you close your eyes. Are you thinking of them?
Yeah.
Can you picture them?
Mariana.
Okay. Hold on.
Ooh, that was freaky.
Oh, sorry. I don't think it's going to work. On the bright side, that probably means you're not going to die anytime soon.
But there was a flicker. I almost went to the bottom of the screen then. These things take quite a lot of time to edit, so I was just going to rewind. Because when she started it, there was a little flicker of the face. So in this universe, I'm a believer. So my character still doesn't believe in the game.
It's tricky. I mean, I'll sound exactly like Hilda's daughter, but I try and keep it vague because I don't become her. I don't know what she would really say. I say things like, it's okay, don't be scared, I love you, Mum, or I love you, Dad. But it doesn't really matter what their relationship's like because it's not really them. I always do the Disney version. The best, most loving version. That's what my patients want to hear. And maybe deep down they know it's not the truth, but it's got to be better than the reality.
Better than reality?
The reality is that most of these people have been completely abandoned by their families, usually their children. If a mother abandons her children, it's scandalous. But if a son or daughter abandons their mother when she's dying after everything she's done for them, apparently that's just normal. I can protect my patients from that, even if it does take a little smoke and mirrors.
Okay, I'm sure this is going to be the next one. Huh?
It's like I'm a mirror, and I'm just reflecting back to them what they want to see. I completely change. My face, my hair, my clothes, my voice, everything.
Okay, so they know it's not the truth. What truth is it then? Or is it not truth?
Does it really matter if it isn't the truth? Isn't it worth it if it brings them peace?
Yeah, I can see that.
Tell me honestly, Doctor. Do you really think that what I'm doing is wrong?
You should be killed. No, it's not wrong. It's fine. I can understand the whole wanting to bring some people peace. I'm not saying it's not fucking creepy, but still, that's fine.
Good. Because I really feel this is something I have to do.
Good for you. Okay, let's talk about Terry now. We've done Hilda.
Terry seems to have backed down since I gave the keepsakes back. Actually, it doesn't seem like she's been very well. Not her usual self.
Oh.
Maybe she's got a bug or something.
Or maybe the Angel of Death has marked her as the next target. I'm on to you, Lynn. Okay, let's talk to her about the paper spike.
It's true then. I'd heard Dr. Dekker was stabbed, but I didn't know for sure. It's weird that whoever did it would choose the paper spike.
Okay, so what does she have knowledge of the paper spike? Because obviously Bryce said that Dekker used it for him to show him that he could just believe and it would be fine. You know, you could hit it through your hand.
Dr. Dekker used to play with it in our sessions.
Okay, here we go. So he did the same thing as Bryce?
You know, pick it up, handle it while we talked. I remember once, he pushed the spike through his skin. At this bit, here, between his thumb and his finger. He said he didn't think I'd mind the sight of blood being a nurse and all that, but actually, there wasn't any.
Yeah, so he did the same thing he did to Bryce to her. So maybe Dekker killed himself. Maybe he believed so much about in this chaos thing that he thought that he could put it into his own heart and it wouldn't hurt him. And then afterwards Claire resurrected him. Who knows? No blood?
I was a bit freaked out. At first, I thought it was a trick. A magic trick, you know? Like some kind of therapeutic test. Show the patient this retractable spike and see how they react. But it wasn't. The spike was real.
Okay, let's go from the spike was real bit.
Dr. Dekker gave me the paper spike to try. It wasn't fake. It was pretty sharp, actually. I don't know how he did it. He said he just thought that it wouldn't hurt him, so it didn't.
Okay, so that's the end of Elin. Thought it kind of ended a bit abruptly there, but I guess we've covered how she's doing and what she's up to, and she's given back her keepsakes, which is good, I guess. I'm still shook up about Prof. Warwick. That's just okay. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. We're going through, like, the further I go through, I like kind of go in peaks and troughs. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, I can see where it's all going, and there's like this net in my head of all the different parts, and then start to slowly connect, and you can see like everybody goes. Henley Church is a big focal point, etc., and you can see it all work. And then something crazy batshit will happen, or someone will tell me that something crazy batshit's happened, and I'm like, I don't fucking know anymore. I'm just confused. Hopefully it all gets sorted out at the end. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.